The Emerald Bible, Chapter 1. At first, there was nothing, and then, a voice. "Hello? Where am I?" asked the voice. "Ah, my child, you are awake," said another voice, this one being a bit deep. "Huh? Who are you? Why can't I see you?" the voice asks the other voice. "Well, I am the creator, but you can call me Davis," Davis said. "Alright, Davis, then who am I? And why can't I see?" the voice asks. "You are Dr.Beammer. Dr. Beammer for short," Davis says. "Dr. Beammer, eh? I like it," Dr. Beammer says. "Anyways, you might want to sit down for this," Davis says as Dr. Beammer feels his surroundings, sitting down a minute later. 19 minutes go by, and suddenly, the Big Bang happens, filling the empty universe with life. "Whoa!" Dr. Beammer exclaims as he finally gets a look at himself and Davis. "Now, you see that big blue and green ball?" Davis says as he points to a planet. "Yes. What about it?" Dr. Beammer asks. "That is Earth. This is my second time recreating it, and I want you to help me look over it," Davis says. "Alright, where do I start?" Dr. Beammer asks. "Right now," Davis says as he snaps his fingers and Dr. Beammer vanishes, reappearing on Earth. "Ah! How did he— Wait, where am I?" Dr. Beammer said to himself as he looked around at his surroundings. The ground felt a bit moist and there were these creatures in the water. So this is Earth. Huh. Seemed a lot different than what I saw in my dreams, Dr. Beammer said as he then quickly realized that he was ass naked. He quickly used his tail to cover his groin, and he notices he had some sort of bag on him. He takes off the bag from his back that was being held with rope. He opens it and finds a cloth robe, some leather notebooks, and a few other pieces of supplies. Huh. Davis must have given me these, Dr. Beammer thinks as he takes out the white cloth robe and puts it on, followed by taking out one of the notebooks and opening it. To his surprise, it was completely filled by someone who claimed to be him. "Hey there, me. You may be really confused about what's going on right now." Dr. Beammer read the notebook. "You have been reborn, but at the cost of not remembering anything from the past. But what you need to know is that you need to build a Bermuda stabilizer, and you will have to learn everything you can," Dr. Beammer read on. The rest of the notebook contained information about a previous world. "This is so fascinating. How did all of it just disappear?" Dr. Beammer asks himself. Dr. Beammer went to spend a couple of centuries traveling around Earth, learning about new species and eventually finding out about the human race. He would also build a device called the Bermuda stabilizer underwater at these certain coordinations. He didn't know why he had to build this stabilizer, but he built it anyways. A couple of decades later, Dr. Beammer moved to a type of desert to build a place for himself. Taking the resources he found on his travels, along with a couple of palm trees he chopped down, he built himself a large hut for himself and would start digging underground to find more resources. Eventually, he came across a special type of sandstone that he would soon use to build himself a temple. As he built this temple, he would slowly discover the fact that he could not die and that he had lightning powers. He was amazed by these abilities, but was also confused on how his previous self died. Another century later, Dr. Beammer would hear about another godlike being on Earth, someone who was a tad bit younger than him. He had a mostly human look and had made himself a collection of sky islands. This godlike entity was a man named Captain Virgino. The two would meet in the late 1870s. They both respected each other and saw each other as equals with the same purpose. Then on April 19th, 1965, Dr. Beammer would discover that Captain Virgino lost his Sky Islands and had gone into hiding in Canada. Dr. Beammer was curious as to how this happened, so he decided to check out the place for himself. The Sky Islands were called the Emerald Valley, due to the place having emerald green valleys, but it was gone, replaced with dead plants and dark colors. The Emerald Valley was now the Dead Soul Valley. It was now ran by an evil force, Enderwolf. Enderwolf was also a very old, somewhat immortal being who was cruel and evil. But thankfully, Enderwolf never saw Dr. Beammer as he was able to stealthily escape Dead Soul Valley and back to his temple. Alright, I think it's about time I get moving, Dr. Beammer says as he packs some of his things, grabbing the lapis chest along his way. "Where are we going?" the chest asks. "Going to the place the mortals call North Carolina." Dr. Beammer says as he heads to the garage of his temple, picking up a few more things and then getting into a modified Mustang. Dr. Beammer would purchase a house in a new neighborhood. His neighbors were curious about him, not only his looks, but also about the claims of him being an immortal thunder god that was there before the Big Bang. Dr. Beammer would gladly share his stories and adventures, slowly becoming a favorite of the neighborhood. Dr. Beammer would see many come and go, enter and exit the neighborhood. Dr. Beammer would soon leave the neighborhood too, giving his house to a homeless family in need, but he still made visits to the neighborhood. Well, on one visit, in 2011, he would meet someone who would change his life. On the walks throughout the neighborhood, he would find a destroyed house. Police and firefighters already left, and the crowd around the house was small. Huh? What's going on? Dr. Beammer asked as he arrived. Oh, Dr. Beammer! Some psycho came here and vaporized the house, one of the neighbors say. Sadly, there doesn't seem to be any survivors, another neighbor says. But then, a hand sticks out of the rubble. The Emerald Bible, Chapter 2. Look! There seems to be a survivor! One of the neighbors exclaims as Dr. Beammer looks up and the crowd slowly closes in. As Dr. Beammer gets closer to take a look, he starts to notice that people are starting to look a bit scared and uncomfortable. What's wrong? What's going... Dr. Beammer then sees what everyone is staring at. On. Dr. Beammer says. What he and everyone else were looking at was a young boy, covered in injuries, revealing that he was not human, he was some sort of machine. The kid was silent, puking up some of his green blood, causing one woman to faint. Damn! I didn't know this house had a monster in it! One of the neighbors shouted as another neighbor elbows the neighbor. Don't be a dick, Jared. The other neighbor says as the kid begins to cry, his voice being all glitchy. I will take him, Dr. Beammer says as he walks over to the boy, picking him up. The boy sniffles, his left eye hanging out of his socket. I have to go now. I'll see you all later, Dr. Beammer says as some of the neighbors nod and he leaves. Dr. Beammer arrives at his house/lab he purchased a while ago and has been living in. Where are we? The kid asks. My home. You'll be living with me, Dr. Beammer says as the boy was confused. Come on. I'll help you get healed up. And Dr. Beammer says as he gets out of his car and he holds out his hand for the boy to take. The boy looks at his hand, then takes his hand, and the two walk off into his lab. Half an hour later, the boy was all fixed up and was given some new clothes. Better? Dr. Beammer asks. Yes, mister, the boy says. So, what's your name, little one? Dr. Beammer asks. Noah, the boy says. Alright then, Noah. I'm Dr. Beammer. It's nice to finally know your name. Dr. Beammer would introduce Noah to the experiments he does and the adventure he went on, which would cause Noah to also want to go on adventures too. So Dr. Beammer would create him a blue suit of powerful marine armor. He would also run some tests on Noah and would convince him to do a few experiments on himself for a speed and strength increase. Dr. Beammer would legally become Noah's legal guardian when he turns 10. Hey, Dr. Beammer? Noah asks. Yeah, kid? Dr. Beammer asks. I found this cat at an abandoned factory I went to, Noah says. Noah, you're supposed to tell me when you leave the house to go on adventures, Dr. Beammer exclaims, causing Noah's fox ears to flatten. Sorry, I just forgot, okay? Noah replies with a slight whimper, causing Dr. Beammer to sigh. It's okay, just make sure to tell me next time. I don't want to lose you, that's all, Dr. Beammer said. Anyways, what does this cat look like? Dr. Beammer asks as Noah goes to his room, then comes back holding a black and white cat. This is Fish Sticks! Noah says as he smiles proudly, which leads to Dr. Beammer chuckling a bit. Noah says, Oh, sorry, I just find the name Fish Sticks a bit funny, that's all, Dr. Beammer said. Ah, okay, Noah replies. Hey, my name isn't funny, Fish Sticks exclaims. Oh, he talks! Dr. Beammer says. Yeah, that's why I took him back here with me, to have a friend when you're not around. Noah says as he smiles, which causes Dr. Beammer to pause and realize that Noah needed to go out there and make some friends. I see, Dr. Beammer says. A couple of years later, Noah was in his early teens and Dr. Beammer noticed some changes. He let his hair grow longer, he waxed off his body hair, he began to wear makeup and started to wear clothes that were on the more feminine side. But he also became more inclusive and less talkative. Dr. Beammer knew that Noah was a bit of an introvert, but his introvertism seemed to have increased. Hey, Noah, you alright? Dr. Beammer asks Noah. I, I, Noah mutters, yes? Dr. Beer asks as Noah looks over with a few tears. Can we please talk? Noah asks, Dr. Beer being a bit surprised by the tears. Yes, we can. What's wrong, kid? Dr. Beer asks as he and Noah sit down. Noah goes on to explain that recently he started to feel different. He started to feel attraction towards boys, but also still had attraction towards females as well. I also don't feel like a male. I feel like a female. And I want to go by Kate. Noah says as Dr. Rear listens. I don't know what's wrong with me, Noah says as he tears up. Dr. Rear puts his hand on his shoulder and pats his head. Listen, Kate, Dr. Rear said as Kate's ears perked up. What you are experiencing is nothing to be ashamed of. It's perfectly normal, Dr. Rear says. It is? Kate asks. Yes. You being interested in both men and women means that you are bisexual, and you identify as a female despite your gender of birth. It means you're trans, Dr. says. Trans? Kate asks. Dr. goes on to explain Kate about the LGBTQ community and how trans is a umbrella term. Huh. I see, Kate says as she wipes her tears. But do you still accept me? Because others have told me about LGBTQ kids being rejected by their parents and loved ones, Kate whimpers. Well, I won't do that to you. No matter what you become or how you change, you will always mean a lot to me, Bugbear says as Kate hugs him. Thank you, Kate cries happily as her tail wags. Anytime, Kate. Anytime, Bugbear said as he hugs her back, patting her back. 3 years later, Dr. Beammer and one of Kate's friends, Mr. Clickbait, were in the kitchen. Dr. Beammer was reheating leftovers when he noticed that one of the knives was gone. Hey Mike, you know where one of the knives went? Dr. Beammer asked as he looked over to Mr. Clickbait. Oh yeah, Kate told me that she was tired of having a dick and that she was going to use a kitchen knife to do a DIY trans feminine body surgery. I told her that's not a good idea, but she ignored me. Mr. Clickbait says Dr. was horrified by this information. Kate, no! Dr. Beamer yells as he teleports upstairs to Kate's room. Kate! Dr. Beamer exclaims. What? Kate says as she turns to him. If you wanted to do the surgery to have your crotch changed, you could have just asked, Dr. Beamer says as he grabs the knife. Sorry, I just assumed you would say no because most parents seem to say no, Kate replies. Well, one, not all parents want their kids to do it. They want them to have more time to think about it. But also, it costs a lot of money. And thankfully, I have that money, Dr. Beaver says. Oh, so can we? Kate asks Dr. Beaver as Dr. Beaver comes. Yeah, sure, Dr. Beaver replies. Yay! Kate cheers. Dr. Beaver sets an appointment for the surgery to happen, and a week later, Kate wins for the surgery. So, Kate is soon going to officially be a girl, Darp asks. Yes, after the surgery, Kate will officially be a girl, Dr. Beaver replies. You know, for someone as old as you certainly are quite accepting. Usually most of the old folk I know are quite homophobic, Darp says. Well, my many centuries of existing, hate is a normal part of life. Hating something is a normal thing we all feel, but it's important to know how to contain the hate. And it's more important to love than hate. The more love in the world, the less people who get hurt. Dr. explains, Huh. I never really stopped and thought about that, Darp says. A lot of people usually don't do that, Darp, Dr. says. Yeah. But then again, me and my family aren't really known for stopping and thinking, especially my mom and pa. Darp replies as the surgeon comes out. Good news! The surgery was a success! The surgeon says as Dr. Rear and Darp look over. Well, that's good, Dr. Rear smiles. Anyways, she's still passed out, so she will need to be escorted by a wheelchair. Before the surgeon could finish his sentence, an explosion sound was heard from outside. What was that? Darp exclaims as laughter was heard from outside. Enderwolf, Dr. Beaver says as he calls up Captain Virginia. The Emerald Bible, Chapter 3. Yes, Dr. Beamer? Captain Virginia replies on his couch. Virginia, Enderwolf is here attacking the hospital we are at. We need help, Dr. Beamer exclaims as Captain Virginia jolts up. Say no more. I'll be right there with reinforcements. Captain Virginia replies as he hangs up and gets his clothes on. Darp, you stay here and help everyone get to safety. I'll get Kate out of here. Dr. Beammer says, Sir, yes, sir! Darp exclaims as he salutes and runs off. Dr. Beammer picks up Kate, carrying her in his arms as he runs to the exit. His ears twitch, then he dodges a laser blast from one of Enderwolf's soldiers. Shit! Dr. Beammer exclaims as he runs faster. Darp makes his way to a nursery where there were a bunch of babies and their parents. Everyone get your babies and follow me. The place is under attack and you all need to get to safety. Darp says as Captain Virginio and his soldiers arrive to help. Oh, hi, Darp. Captain Virginio says to Darp. Hey there, funny named Magic Man. Darp exclaims as he pulls out a shotgun and shoots one of Enderwolf's soldiers. Dr. makes it out of the hospital with Kate in his arms when he is stopped by Enderwolf with his blade. Hand her over. Enderwolf growls as Dr. holds her close to him. No, Enderwolf, I will not hand you Kate. Dr. says, it doesn't have to be like this. You can just hand her over and walk away freely. Enderwolf says, like I said, no, I am not going to give her up to you. Kate does not deserve to go through what you did to those other poor women you have kidnapped. Dr. replies with annoyance, just so you know, I don't take no as an answer, Enderwolf says as he was about to strike. Dr. then throws Kate in the air, blasting Enderwolf with his lightning, then catching Kate as she wakes up. Huh? Why am I outside? Kate groans as she covers her eyes from the bright lights as Mr. Clickbait flies over and shoots an arrow into Enderwolf's knee. Ah! Shit! Enderwolf grunts as he falls on his ass and yanks the arrow out of his knee. You're so damn lucky I didn't sleep last night. Enderwolf snarled and yawned as he teleported away. Did he escape again? Captain Virginio asked as he ran out. Sadly, yes, Mr. Clickbait says. Damn it, Captain Virginio exclaimed as Kate groans. Seriously, what is going on, guys? Kate groans as she rubs her eyes. Well, Enderwolf attacked the hospital and tried to take you away, but I was able to stun him. Right after I threw you in the air and then catch you after my stun attack on Enderwolf, Dr. Beammer explains. Huh. So that explains the sensation of going up in the air and then down to the ground I felt in my sleep, Kate says. Enderwolf went back to his sky island in his ship that was piloted by one of his soldiers. Once at the castle, Enderwolf is led to his throne room, then Enderwolf punches the soldier out of tired frustration. Dad? Vyost asks as Enderwolf turns to him. Don't come near me! He yells as he stumbles into his bedroom and Archcore comes over. Is he okay? Vyost asks Archcore. Last night we had an all-nighter that included drinking and having sex with as many breeders he keeps in the attic. I was safely able to recover due to my blood being alcohol at this point. Enderwolf, not so much, Archcore says. Ooh, I love it when he gets like that, Enderella gushes. Ma'am, this is the type where he punches out someone, Vyost says, pointing to the soldier who was knocked out cold. Oh, I see, Enderella says as the soldier groans. Hey, can someone help out this man? Vyost asks as a medic comes over and picks him up and takes the soldier to the barracks. So, when will you start calling me Mom? Enderella asks Vyost. As soon as you don't see me as an obstacle, Vyost snarls. Dr. Beammer and Kate arrive back home, Kate going to her room to rest. Well, that was eventful, Dr. Beammer sighs as Mr. Clickbait stretches. Yeah, it was. I can't believe I was able to shoot an arrow in the Enderwolf's knee, Mr. Clickbait says. Yeah, I was going to tell you earlier that you took a nice shot earlier, Dr. Beammer replied. Yeah, I've been taking a few archery classes lately, Mr. Clickbait replies. The next day, Kate was drawing, texting her lovely boyfriend James. Kate checks her email, waiting to get an email from any of the employers she emailed. Only one email was sent back to her, some sort of pizzeria. Oh hey, I have been wanting to work at a pizzeria, Kate says as she emails back, then going downstairs to inform Dr. Beammer and Mr. Clickbait about her new job. Hey, congrats, Kate, Mr. Clickbait exclaims as Kate smiles. You don't plan on working there forever, right? Dr. Beammer asks. Yeah, I'll get a different job soon. Or hey, maybe the whole YouTube thing will be successful for me and I'll be able to rely on that or something, Kate says. A day later, Kate goes to her job. That is the last that is heard of her. At first, Dr. Beammer thought Kate went over to James' house and forgot to tell him. But after texting James, he discovered that Kate was not at James' place. Dr. Beer was starting to get worried as a few days went by. Kate didn't show up, and Dr. Beer tried to get in contact with the small pizzeria with no luck. Alright, something isn't right here, Dr. Beer says as he decides to investigate the place. He gets into his reliable Mustang and he drives off to the place, going through some woods and eventually arriving at the small pizzeria. Dr. Beer packed a handgun and a shotgun, along with a Swiss Army knife. Better safe than sorry, Dr. Beer says as he gets inside the pizzeria. Once in, he looks around, pulling out a flashlight and turning it on. Alrighty, time to figure out what's going on, Dr. Beamer says as he explores the place, going to the security guard office. Once at the office, he sees someone in a chair, turned away from him. Hello? Sorry for just breaking in, but have you seen a young girl with fox ears and a foxtail around here? Dr. Beer asks, getting no response. Hello? Dr. Beer asks as he walks over and turns the chair around and is stunned. Oh god, Dr. Beer says, looking at the corpse in the chair with a night guard outfit on. Thank god that isn't Kate. But still, why is there a body here? Why would they leave something like this? Dr. Beer asks, unaware that someone else was in the building with him. He leaves the room and makes his way to the storage. He arrives at the storage, taking a look inside, seeing animatronic parts on the shelves, and seeing a table in the center of the room. Kate? Kate, where are you? Dr. says as he walks around the storage room, then stumbles across a box of papers and a cassette. Huh, what's this? Dr. Beer said to himself as he picked up the cassette and listened to it. Dr. Beer learns that the small pizzeria has had multiple murders happen at the place, leaving Dr. Beer to fear the worst. No. No, God, please don't let it be. Dr. Beer exclaims as the other being in the pizzeria slowly approaches. Kate? Kate? Dr. Beer exclaims as the being arrives behind him. Dr. Beamer? The being says. Dr. freezes up, slowly beginning to breathe heavily as he slowly gets up, pulling out his handgun and slowly turning around to see who is the one behind him, seeing some sort of busty fox animatronic. Dr. Beamer cocks his gun and points it at the animatronic. Don't come any closer. I will shoot, Dr. Beamer exclaims as the animatronic heads tilt to the left, its eyes adjusting. Dad. The animatronic whimpers as Dr. Beamer slowly puts his gun down, realizing who the animatronic was. Kate? Is that you? Dr. Beamer asks. The Emerald Bible, Chapter 4. Yes, Kate whimpers as Dr. Beamer drops his gun, then hugs her. Kate, I'm so sorry. I should have came with you when you came here to accept your job, Dr. Beamer exclaims. It's okay, you didn't know. I didn't know either, Kate says as Dr. Beamer calms down. Just so glad you're not dead, Dr. Beamer exclaims. I wish I was, Kate mutters as Dr. Beamer's ears perk up. What? Dr. Beamer asks. I look like a slut, a sex bot. I don't know what others will think of me, Kate whimpers. Kate, you are not a slut or a sex bot. You're beautiful. And I believe that people will not think differently of you, Dr. Beamer says. You really think so? Kate asks. Yes, I do, Dr. Beamer says as he picks up his handgun. Come on, we need to get out of here before anyone else comes back, Dr. Beamer says. Alright, Kate replies as the two leave the location and go into his car. Little did they know that they were being watched by someone or something. Hey, Dr. Beamer? Kate asks Dr. Beamer. Yeah, Kate? Dr. Beamer asks. How have you kept your Mustang this clean and not broken? Kate asks. Well, it's a mix of dedication, willpower, and also wanting to keep my ride. Dr. Beamer replies as he drives off back to the house. A few months later, it was Kate's 18th birthday, and Dr. Beamer figured out how to turn her back into a human. Well, as much as a human that Kate was. Wow, Kate, you look freaking beautiful, Captain Cup comments. I agree. Comrade definitely looks beautiful, Communist Shovel replies. Thanks, guys. I'm glad you all don't think differently of me, Kate replies, smiling a bit. They are correct. You are beautiful, James says as he kisses her cheek, causing Kate's ears and tail to perk up and for her to blush hard. Happy birthday, babe. James smiles as Kate blushes, even harder. Whoa there, James. Try not to turn her into a green pepper, Captain Virginia jokes as Kate covers her face in embarrassment. So, Kate, now that you're 18, what are you going to do now? Dr. Mirror asks. I would have said go out and get schwiggity schwasted, but America's drinking age is 21. So I guess I want to go out and get a custom motorcycle, Kate says, Dr. Mirror's brow raised. And how are you going to afford that? Dr. Beammer asks. I'm going to start an OnlyFans, but I will also become a heckin' bounty hunter, Kate exclaims. Bounty hunter, eh? Mr. Clickbait asks. Yeah, it seemed fun, Kate says. Alright, just don't get yourself killed when you start doing that, Dr. Reader says. Relax, I'll be A-okay, Kate exclaims proudly. A few weeks later, Kate began the process of getting herself a house with the bounty money and the OnlyFans money she got, making sure to be in the same neighborhood as her legal guardian, Dr. Beamer. Make sure to come and visit me when you can, alright? Dr. Beamer tells Kate. I will. Besides, you're the one who saved me, who took me in, Kate says as she hugs him. Dr. Beamer hugs back. You can do it, Kate. I believe in you, Dr. Beamer says. After packing up a few more things, Kate says one more goodbye and leaves. Although she was still in the same neighborhood, Dr. Beamer felt emotional about Kate leaving. As Kate went to her house, Dr. Beamer decided to finally try out Tinder. Alright, this will be very difficult, but hopefully I will get lucky, Dr. Beamer says as he makes an account on the platform and waits as Kate finally arrives at her house. Alright, here I am, Kate says to herself as she looks around. Time to make this place my own, Kate says as she gets to work making orders and opening boxes. She puts up the furniture and decor that she had currently while she waited for her orders to ship. Dr. Beamer went to a coffee shop to get some coffee as he waited. Eventually, he gets a notification. He checks his phone and saw that he matched with someone who looked like him, but as a woman. What the hell? Dr. Beamer said as he looked around, his eyes then stopping at the woman question. She was also looking back at him, both of them feeling real awkward. Alright, Beamer, you can do this, Dr. Beamer says to himself. Come on, Margaret, make your first move. Oh, never mind, he's coming over, Margaret says to herself as Dr. Beamer pulls up a chair and sits down. So, I see you are not from here, Dr. Beamer asked with a slightly awkward tone in his voice. Correct. I came from the gender-swapped universe, Margaret said with a sigh. Oh, I see, Dr. Beamer replied. He knew that that universe was completely taken over by its version of Vanderwolf. She took Cade, turned him into some sort of monster, Margaret said in an upset tone. I was one of the lucky few who escaped, but after that, I had to close the portals to that universe to stop her from coming here, Margaret says as Dr. Beamer decides to slide closer to her and he puts his hand on her shoulder. While I cannot relate with losing my child, I do know how it feels to lose others, Dr. Beamer says as Margaret looks over to him. I guess we both gained and lost a lot in our centuries of living, Margaret asks. Yeah, we have, Dr. Beamer says. Well, maybe you could show me around this world? Margaret asks. Oh, totally. Maybe if you want I can show you my temple, Dr. Beamer says with a smile. Oh, you made a temple for yourself? Margaret asks. Yeah, it's now basically a giant museum I own, Dr. Beamer replies. Huh, I never built a temple for myself. Although I did once make a medium-sized castle mansion, Margaret says. Oh, and how did that go? Dr. Beamer asks. Stacy Wolf destroyed it when she took power, Margaret sighs. Ah, I see. W says as he pays for their drinks and the two leave. Meanwhile, Kate finished her place decorated and styled to her likings. And there. After a week and a couple of days, I have finally completed my house, Kate says as she smiles, then hearing the doorbell ring. Kate goes to the door and opens it to see the rest of her most recent orders. Oh, finally, the collectibles I ordered are here, Kate exclaims as she picks up the boxes and takes them inside. Mr. Clickbait was out on a walk when they noticed a large crowd, along with some police officers and a crying woman at an alleyway. Huh. Wonder what's going on, Mr. Clickbait thought as he made his way over to the crowd, meeting one of his friends, CPT. Oh hey man, what's going on? Mr. Clickbait asks as CPT turns to them. Beats me, but apparently it's something bad, CPT says as The two make their way through the crowd to see what is happening. Once they reached the front and saw what happened, the two were disturbed by what they saw. It was a man. His limbs were removed, the flesh on his face was ripped off, and his bottom jaw was removed, and was hanging by a noose. The man was wearing some sort of yellow robe. Oh God, Mr. Clickbait says as CBT turns around to puke. Harold, Harold, no! The crying woman sobbed. The man, Harold, was the owner of a small plant shop he ran with his wife. Excuse me, but are you an actual tech angel? A detective asks Mr. Clickbait. Yes, the name is Mr. Clickbait, but you can call me Mike, Mr. Clickbait says. Alright, Mike, if you don't mind possibly helping us figure out what happened to Harold, the detective asks. Oh yeah, I can totally help, Mr. Clickbait says as he and the detective go to the body and Mr. Clickbait takes the robe to inspect it. As he inspected it, he felt a surge, a rush of fear go down his spine. Mike, are you okay? The detective asked. I can't believe it, Mr. Clickbait mutters. Mike, what's wrong? The detective asked as Mr. Clickbait grabbed his shoulders. He's coming back! Warn everyone! Mr. Clickbait exclaims. Who's coming back? The detective asks. The Yellow King. Mr. Clickbait replies in a scared tone in his voice. So, yeah, that was the first entry in a series called the Emerald Bible. It's basically like, okay, so obviously I currently don't have the money to, make the stuff I want to do physically, so the best I can do is, like, make books that have, like, oh, this is stuff that's going on in the T3 Productions universe that I'm not able to show due to money reasons, but, yeah, I hope you all like this. It's obviously it's going to be on Wattpad, and also you have the option to buy on my merch store if you want to. Please note, buying it from my merch store is completely optional because it is completely free on Wattpad. The only reason it's available to buy on my merch store is because like it's just an option for like if you want to. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, that was it for this little live, not live reading. That was it for this little audiobook. Peace out, home guards, and goodbye.